Hey folks, it's Nathan, TransMidwife, back again. I must apologise for the delay in this video. It's been a while since I've made one. Just been focusing kind of on my own life and family a little bit more recently. But here we are back again. So I have just passed my 5 months on testosterone, which is cool. I am due to get my second jab of Nebido next week, which I'm not really looking forward to because it was quite painful last time. But today's video is about queerness. So I've had a few people ask me sort of, well, firstly, what queerness is. What does it mean? What does it mean to be queer? But also someone said they were trying to explain it and they to someone and they didn't know quite how to say it and they felt like it got really complicated, which is fair. So I haven't looked up like a definition of queerness, and I don't know if there is one. I mean, the fact is that it might be, as it probably is, just like everything else, as unique as the person who refers to themselves as queer. But I'm going to just say what the word means for me and what I've come to know it to mean. So my definition would be an umbrella term to describe people that kind of encapsulates people who are not cisgender or heterosexual. And I also think it can kind of expand to include people like cross-dressers and drag kings and queens. So it's like a nice inclusive term for the large community that is not cishet. And so I don't think it would be right to do this video without chatting a little bit about the kind of history of the word queer, and I don't know much about it. Maybe I should have researched it before making this video, but I kind of just think this is just me and the impression I've got of the word just from being in the queer community. So there was a time that it was probably started as a word that queer people used, and then there was a time where it was used as a vicious, nasty slur, just like gay was, and it still is in some places and with some people it still is used as a nasty word, sort of being, queer. But these days, I would say for the majority of everything I've experienced, queer is used as a term that the LGBTQIA plus community reclaimed as what I said it was for, which is that umbrella. And I think it's a fantastic word. I've seen a lot of people describe using the word queer as a way of avoiding specific labels and a way of avoiding putting themselves in boxes that other people, other people can like tick them into the little box and then they'll be happy. It's like, no, I'm not gay, I'm not a lesbian, I'm not trans, I'm queer, just get over it, it's just me. And I think they kind of like the fact that people out of the cishet community don't always know what that means. Like, sometimes it's a good thing that things aren't pinned down and defined clearly for you, It's fun, it's interesting, and it's safe. And I've also heard people talk about queer relationships. So that means that, let's say for an example, that a transgender man and a heterosexual woman are together, and so a lot of people might see that relationship as straight, but as part of maintaining their kind of identity. Maybe that woman was a lesbian at one time, maybe that trans man is bi, you know, that kind of thing. So as part of not being erased as LGBT, because they are in a cis-het passing relationship, they might like to use the word queer and kind of keep a hold of that for themselves, and you know, as a way of describing it, you know, our relationship is queer. I think it's a fantastic word. I'm certainly happy to be described as queer. I do call myself queer. I'm trans, pretty much gay, and also quite queer. I love it. It's a great word. Yeah. I think those are all my thoughts on the word. So if you relate to the word, just use it in whichever way helps you. And I hope that it's helped other people to understand that maybe you won't understand it exactly ever, and that's okay. But it's a great positive term. It's also just one thought maybe would just be, if you're not queer, if you're not part of the LGBTQIA plus, then don't label people as queer, because it's a label that people choose to have. But if they are, okay, let's say a lesbian woman might not use that term for herself, and that is her choice to make. It's an identity thing. So if you're not part of the community, or even if you are, you don't label anyone else as queer until they've told you that they use that term to describe themselves. It's like anything else, really. Yeah. So go out and be queer, or don't be, but respect people who are. And that's all. Thanks. If you like this video, please subscribe and like and all of that stuff. Bye.